Sasuke's Shadow by XellGadis. You idiots! Kaori screamed out in disgust. She looked at her other two team members. Matsumi, one of the lower members in the class, and Kuraku, an intelligent but lazy person. You heard what Akito-sensei said. Only the top 3 teams actually become Genin. Everyone else has to be sent back to the academy. She glared at her 2 companions. Tired from a day of training, she went to her room. Resting on her bed, she looked at the calendar. There was less than 2 days to pass the test. Kaori knew that if she wanted to succeed, Matsumi and Kuraku had to succeed as well. That was the hard part. Well, at least I didn't get teamed up with Naruto. Sasuke got to deal with him, she thought. Straightening Kuraku should be easy enough, but Matsumi was a complete idiot. Well, more of an incomplete one. She thought hard, and she eventually worried herself to sleep. The next morning, Kaori met at Training Ground 9 with her Matsumi and Kuraku. Right on time, Akito-sensei appeared with his first task. If you wish to become Genin, you have 3 hours to obtain this scroll. Whomever does that will become a Genin, Akito-sensei said. But there's only 1 scroll, Kaori said. Does that mean only 1 person can pass? Well, I guess that's so, Akito smiled. 1 scroll means 1 passer. As soon as Kaori heard that, she knew it had to be her. Matsumi and Kuraku weren't good enough to obtain the scroll. As soon as Akito started the clock, Kaori made a dash to hide herself in the trees. Matsumi and Kuraku did the same. Akito had the scroll attached to his belt. As Kaori eyed her victim, she quietly slid out her kunai from her bag and stealthily made her way towards the Jonin. While she was creeping through the forest, Kuraku had decided to make a swift attack at Akito. Kaori watched his attempt, and with some quick thinking, she decided it would be best to attack Akito from the back, while Kuraku was doing a more direct assault. Kuraku sprung out of the trees, and the Jonin had quickly sidestepped to avoid the attack. With his back to her, Kaori made a quick dash to cut the string which held the scroll to his belt. Unfortunately, Kuraku hadn't noticed his partner's movement, and attacked Akito from the side, which had him dodging both attacks. Kaori glared at her unworthy partner. You idiot! I was about to get the scroll if you hadn't made that last attack. And how were you to know that Akito-sensei didn't know that you were there? He could have made that move to dodge your attack. And so the two began quarreling for several minutes, while the Jonin Akito sat in the treetops watching them argue. Well, after they vented their anger at each other, they decided to restart and make their own attempts at the scroll, and not interfering with each other. The first had to find Matsumi and inform him of their plans. Matsumi was hiding in one of the trees, and when he heard his companions calling for him, he jumped down from it. After being informed of the plan, he agreed not to interfere with Kaori's or Kuraku's plans. He knew they were smarter and swifter than he was, and he didn't want to interfere with their actions. If he did, he would get an earful, as he did from Iruka-sensei at the academy. For the next 2 hours, each of them made their own individual attacks at him, each of which had failed. Defeated, the 3 returned to the starting point of the test. Akito-sensei was already there waiting, with his watch. Well, time's up. Guess you all fail. Well, even if we had obtained the scroll, only one of us would be able to pass, Kaori protested. Actually, no. If you had obtained the scroll on your own, I would be quite impressed. If all 3 of you had worked together, you would have been able to get it. But still, it would be hard with them working with me, Kaori complained as she glared at her 2 partners. It's like they're holding me back. We aren't, Kuraku declared. I work at my own pace. Just because I'm not you doesn't mean you're better than I am. Matsumi nodded in agreement. That's part of the test. You're going to have to put aside your differences or use them to your advantages. You also have to trust each other enough with your lives in case problems arose. You weren't able to do any of that, so I think you need some extra training. Your techniques were pretty good, but you need more agility. You move too slow. So, the test? All 3 asked in unison. Failed, Akito-sensei said. Defeated, Kaori went to her room. I wonder how Sasuke did on his test, she thought to herself. After eating dinner, she went over to the academy where their results were posted. I've always been in his shadow. Everybody acknowledged his talent, but they would always compare him to me. I was always the lesser one. Looking at the list, she was shocked. Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto had passed their test. I guess I'll forever be in Iz's shadow, she thought to herself. Kuraku and Matsumi were there too. Kuraku put his hand on her shoulder and assured her. Next year we will pass, he said with a smile. At least we know what we need to improve. I also don't like the idea of Naruto advancing faster than I do. We'll catch up eventually. I hope so, Kaori said with a faint smile. With a small light of hope within herself, She went to her room and silently went to sleep, awaiting the day when she can achieve a greater status within the clan.